this means that hopefully lots of companies in a world post Clarity being passed will come out and start to integrate crypto. I think it'll just unlock a lot of institutional capital that'll flow into the space broadly. We think it's going to be very additive. We want every company to be integrated into the crypto-enabled financial system, just like they use the internet or AI or any other technology.
This just in, it's confirmed. Tell every crypto believer you know, the Crypto Clarity Act is moving ahead at the Senate committee markup stage. Mark it down, snap a screenshot, set a reminder, save the date. Thursday, May 14th, happening this week at 10:30 in the morning Eastern Time. The single most important crypto vote we've ever seen finally has a slot on the schedule. 20 trillion in sideline capital waiting for this moment. May 14th, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be positioned before that clock hits zero. On prediction markets, odds of the Crypto Clarity Act fully passing surged to 73%. Here's what goes down Thursday at the markup. Senators will work through the bill one section at a time. Fresh amendments may be added. The wording gets finalized, no question, and then they cast a vote on moving it forward out of committee. That's the outcome the whole crypto world is pulling for. Stuck inside the Senate for months, the Clarity Act already passed the House in 2025. The Senate has been the bottleneck. The fact that this markup is finally happening is huge bullish news. Keep in mind, this long-awaited vote could create the first comprehensive regulatory framework for cryptocurrency in U.S. history. Quick reminder, smash that subscribe button on Altcoin Daily. Generally speaking, this is bullish for Bitcoin, but the much bigger story is what it means for solid altcoins and crypto firms. We're talking Ethereum, Chainlink, Circle, Coinbase, Robinhood, plus stablecoins, DeFi, self-custody, tokenization. Over at Coinbase, Brian Armstrong just held the Q1 2026 earnings call, and the Clarity Act came up in the discussion. If you grasp what unfolds the moment the Clarity Act gets signed, you grasp the sheer scale of institutional capital that's about to pour into crypto.
When legislation comes out and gets signed into law, from your perspective, what are the things that you expect to see over the next year in terms of who new will be participating in the crypto ecosystem? And what do you expect they will be doing?
Yeah, well, you're correct that the Clarity Act is about much more than just stablecoins and rewards. I think, as Paul mentioned, it will create a lot of opportunities for people to work on tokenization, having clarity about what's a commodity versus a security, exchanges and custodians, what their roles are. You know, DeFi has an important role to play here, self-custodial wallets. And so there's going to be lots of energy that comes out of it. I think it's going to be a little bit like when the Genius Act passed for stablecoins, and we saw a couple hundred large companies in the US come out in the subsequent months and announce integrations with stablecoins. And so this means that hopefully lots of companies in a world post Clarity being passed will come out and start to integrate crypto. They might use it to raise money on chain. They might use it to provide crypto services to their customers. I think it'll just unlock a lot of institutional capital that'll flow into the space broadly. And the opportunity is really there for Coinbase to go provide those services to all these companies coming into crypto post Clarity being passed into law, and actually power integrations for many of them as well via Coinbase developer platform. So we think it's going to be very additive. We want every company to be integrated into the crypto-enabled financial system, just like they use the internet or AI or any other technology.
Dennis Porter holds the CEO and co-founder title at Satoshi Action Fund, a group focused on policy and regulation that's hands-on in Washington. He broke down the road ahead for us, and this was him speaking ahead of the markup announcement. His take goes like this: if markup goes through, get ready for what follows.
So Congress can move slow and it can move incredibly fast depending on the motivation. But the things that we really need to see happen in a series of events is obviously banking has to come out and do their committee hearing, do their markup, get it passed out of the committee. And then we need to see the floor vote on the Senate side. That's also going to take time. And then we're going to see the House and the Senate debate, likely their two versions of the legislation, because the House version, which is actually Clarity, and you have the Senate version, which is technically not Clarity, but we've just all sort of used this word as like the word for market structure now. So when the Senate version goes over to the House, or House version comes over to the Senate, and they meet in the middle, they'll have a conference committee where they will essentially debate what to keep and what to strip out. And the hope is, of course, they agree. And then from there, once the conference committee ends, more or less, it will go straight to the president, and that's when the president can sign it. Now, of course, the president's going to move very fast. He's going to sign it the moment it comes off the press. The big concern is really, when are we going to see this markup in banking, and when are we going to see that floor vote take place, and then when are we going to see the conference committee? And those are three very big bottlenecks of like an event that needs to occur. And so that's why I say these events need to start happening. We need to see that markup if we expect to see clarity pass.
So get this, we're one step closer to the bill landing on the president's desk for signing. Thursday, May 14th is when markup takes place. After that, fingers crossed, it gets voted out of committee and heads to the full Senate floor for a vote. From there, the House, which has its version already through, joins forces with the Senate once their side passes too. Identical text has to clear both chambers, no exceptions. Last step, the president signs and it becomes law. Markup is confirmed, and the target is getting this done way before midterms hit. That said, Trump is pushing everyone hard to finish it up in time for him to sign on July 4th. Huge if it actually pans out.
We'll get it on the president's desk before the end of June, and it'll sign into law before July 4th.
Michael Saylor opened up further about the fresh strategic path his company is taking. Part of that plan now includes selling off Bitcoin from time to time. The team stands firm that this move ends up being even more bullish for Bitcoin, and their reasoning goes like this. We'd never be a net seller of Bitcoin. Strategy may sell one Bitcoin while buying 10 to 30 more through STRC capital raises. Still an accumulation machine. Take a look.
But if I was being more precise, I'd say never be a net seller of Bitcoin. It just wouldn't have been so viral or so catchy to say never be a net seller of Bitcoin. I think that in these periods, even if we were to sell one Bitcoin, we'd be buying 10 to 20 more Bitcoin. So you're really talking about a situation where we buy 10 Bitcoin, sell one Bitcoin, buy 9 net Bitcoin, and continue to accrete Bitcoin. It should be a non-issue after people understand it. But right now it's a colorful area of commentary.
Is it possible for you to comment, how do you sell one Bitcoin and buy 10?
Yeah. So the number one Bitcoin accretion engine is Stretch. We sold $3.2 billion of STRC in April. So we bought $3.2 billion of Bitcoin. The dividend is about 80 to 90 million. So in the month when we're raising $3 billion, we need to come up with $80 or $90 million to pay the dividend. So you would be, in essence, you would be buying 30 Bitcoin, selling one Bitcoin, right?
And beyond that, so many indicators are lining up showing Bitcoin and crypto have at last climbed out of the bear market. Bitcoin historical bullish setup. That MACD bullish crossover, you can spot it here, then here, and again over here, plus here too. The MACD bullish crossover has lined up one more time. The signal coming off this chart points to Bitcoin having already hit its bottom, now checking out short to long-term realized value ratio. If you look at the chart, it's providing signals that are similar to the previous bottoming periods in 2022, 2018, 2014. Compared with what the fundamentals are showing, the price feels strangely capped. Over 24 major financial institutions have adopted Bitcoin and crypto. Crypto tech really only got adopted 4 or 5 years back. We were at 0 to 2 then. So much is happening here. Think you missed crypto? You didn't. Feels like we're climbing out of a bear market. When nobody cares, that's when you double down and find the hidden gems. Enjoyed this? Hit like, subscribe, and leave me your thoughts in the comments. Genuinely thankful you hung out with me today, and I'll be back with you in the next one.